Jim Jones. Who is Jim Jones? Like, he's not on anyone's top 10 list. He's like no one's top 10 list, maybe not even his family.
He's scared to hustle because niggas is snitching so much. Maybe that's what's going on. I would be scared to hustle too when I know that every other nigga is snitching just so he don't want to do no time because he can't bear to be inside the jail system.
As we can tell, there's no expense being spared. We had a black billionaire's lunch. Yeah, you understand? Right. And we here together.
Rapper Jim Jones just got exposed in court docs as a federal informant tied to the Tekashi case. In the court transcripts that hit the internet, individual 1, confirmed to be Jim Jones, is accused of working with federal agents in connection to a conversation about Jamal Mel's murder. And honestly, this might explain how Jim's managed to rack up a long criminal record, but still walk free all these years.
I think we've passed kneeling.
To make things even crazier, an old leaked audio of Jay-Z has surfaced where he flat out calls Jim Jones a snitch.
This time, look at the reaction of the lady sat just behind him. The reason why she's worried about how Jay would respond is because she's the CEO of Rock Nation. But in her former life, she was a federal informant.
But here's where it gets messy. Rock Nation's own top exec, Jay's number 1, is also a confirmed federal informant. So what's really going on here? Why is Jay suddenly going at Jim like this? As most of y'all already know, Jim recently sparked major drama with his wild comments about Nas. That's when all of Jim's old skeletons came tumbling out, including receipts showing he allegedly worked with the feds.
Oh, man. Hip-hop, of course, you know, is a competitive sport. But on the other end of it, it's like certain people shouldn't be able to say your names until they done something in the genre of music. I've done too much in this music to even have to answer that question. Like, Jim Jones, who is Jim Jones? Like, he's not on anyone's top 10 list. He's like no one's top 10 list, maybe not even his family. I was saying last night, it's like the 8th guy on the bench just screaming at Jordan, like, you a bum. Like, you like the 9th guy on the bench. I'm not even.
But here's the real kicker. If Jay-Z hates snitches so much, why is his right-hand woman at Rock Nation a known informant? And even wilder, why would Jay hand Jim Jones a Rock Nation deal if he truly believed Jim was a snitch? This whole situation smells shady. Let's get into the audio leak that kicked this whole mess off. In the resurfaced clip, Jay-Z went off about his beef with Jim Jones, straight up calling him a fake rapper who doesn't even qualify as one of his peers. Jay threw major shade, saying Jim's role in the industry isn't even about music.
Brooklyn rapper Tekashi 6ix9ine pleaded guilty to federal charges, admitting he participated in a violent gang. He also pledged to cooperate with prosecutors. The rapper, whose legal name is Daniel Hernandez, said he joined the 9 Trey Blood Gang in the fall of 2017. He says he helped them try to kill a rival gang member last March. Prosecutors say the gang carried out acts of murder, robbery, and narcotics trafficking in Manhattan, the Bronx, and Brooklyn. The indictment also said each gang member was required to participate in at least 2 acts of racketeering conspiracy, which could include murder, robbery, extortion, or drug distribution. The plea deal could allow Hernandez leniency at sentencing. He was facing a mandatory 47-year prison sentence.
It's something else. Now here's the million-dollar question. Did Jay know something about Jim long before the rest of us caught on? Was Jay low-key hinting that Jim wasn't just fake in the rap game, but also moving like an informant? And if that's true, why would Jay turn around and welcome Jim into Rock Nation later?
He definitely humiliating Shawty right now.
Well, you got your picture up there next to the post. And you're like, when you go to YouTube and World Star, they got his picture next to this. Everything he say, they got a split screen with Shawty's picture next to it. I said, this is crazy, son. But he's doing that to make K9 think he don't got no relationship with Boy. That's what he's trying to do. That's what he's trying to do. He's trying to live. He's trying to separate himself.
That's cool, but now he gotta get violated.
Yeah, super violated. Super duper. So ain't too much he can really do unless he gonna go run around with 100 armed securities all day. You know what I'm saying? He gonna get shot at penny.
He ain't getting enough money for that.
That's a fact. And he just canceled all his shows.
And he ain't a gang member no more.
Nah, he ain't nothing.
That's what Shawty needs to make sure he do.
Nah, we
Tell that he's not a gang member no more. He kicked out the whip. He was never a gang member. Shawty need to expose him.
This whole thing reeks of secrets and backdoor deals. And speaking of informant talk, let's break down these rumors about Jim being a Fed snitch. These whispers have been floating in the streets for years, but leave it to 50 Cent to make sure the world didn't forget. 50 reignited the drama by dropping an Instagram post showing Jim posted up with Jay-Z, Diddy, Fat Joe, and others.
Jones, right? He ran with the same I ran with a decade before I met him. Jim Jones, the Dipset, the that was just over there dancing on verses. Jim Jones was running with Shotty, Cafano Jordan, right? Mel Matrix, Jamel Jones, Roll Murder, Roland Martin. He was running Fu Banger, Fuquan. I forgot his last name, Fuquan something. He was running with all of the cats I ran with and got his daddy for. You know what Jim Jones did? That nigga did not take care of none of them. Cause when I ran to them, Shotty was sleeping on the rug. Madison between Tompkins and Troop. Mel Murder was on Gates and Marcus Garvey with his baby mother. Roland Martin was just doing 9 years. He blew trial. That make them. That take care of them. From Shotty was sleeping on the rug. That driving a 6'3" Benz in 6 months, living in a condo, doing meetings with Kanye. Kanye was taking him to Yeezy meetings, board meetings. Matrix had his own. Everything on his own. His kids was eating. Roland Martin came home to a new AP, watch, money, cars, everything. That Jim Jones did not take care of none of his. I took care of him. And on top of that, Jim Jones was caught on wiretap telling Jamel, look, Jim Jones was caught on wiretap. Jim Jones was caught on wiretap on my case, he was telling the big homie Mel Matrix, Jamel Jones, to go and get rid of my security. How you do it, how you shoot at them. They don't got no license to carry weapons, don't nothing in New York.
His caption? Pure chaos.
Wack also agrees with him and says that you can find the audio online because it was used in the trial. 6ix9ine and Wack both question why Jim Jones isn't in jail if he was caught on tape saying he was going to kill 6ix9ine, suggesting that he must have cooperated in the trial.
LOL Individual 1 calling the shots out here. I know you working, so please don't say gangster-ish to me, Individual 1.
6ix9ine also starts making some accusations about Desiree Perez, the CEO of Roc Nation, but Wack shuts him down before he can say too much.
If you're wondering what 50 meant by Individual 1, it's tied to those long-running allegations that Jim Jones was working with the feds during Tekashi 6ix9ine's racketeering case. And now, with Jay's old comments resurfacing, fans are starting to wonder if Jay was trying to warn us all along. So here's where things really get wild. While Tekashi 6ix9ine was on the stand spilling all the tea about his 9-tray blood crew, a wiretapped phone call leaked.
Detective Jones, people at Splash Brand do not f with no informants. I did 4 years in the feds, homie, because I ain't snitch. You set your best friend up on the wiretap. See, Wack 100 and Tekashi, they don't got receipts like that because they really don't know.
And guess who popped up? Jim Jones. In the audio, Jim is allegedly heard saying Tekashi ain't a gang member no more and that he needs to get violated. Yeah, you heard that right.
I did a little something for you in the studio. Then he had something to Old Boy.
This is Old Boy's already #1?
Yeah, it's popping.
All right.
Yeah, I listened to it and I was like, erase that shit.
And of course, 50 Cent wasted zero time stirring the pot. He posted the full transcript of that call for the world to see. Now let's rewind to 2018 when Tekashi got hit with major federal racketeering and gun charges alongside several 9-tray gangsta bloods.
First of all, let's get right to it. There seems to be some drama. You and The Rock, Jay-Z, you try to diss. You did diss him.
I just nobody.
You dissed him.
I dissed Michael Jordan. Oh man, we just there's no drama, man.
No, we're gonna get to that.
Shouts to Dame Dash, who started Rockefeller Records. If y'all don't know, he's responsible for Rockefeller getting off the floor that started in Harlem. You know what I'm talking about?
A notorious, violent crew tied to the Bloods. The feds had been quietly building their case against 9-tray for a while.
They're hustling like they need to, you dig? And they ain't keeping it funky like they used to. So I don't understand. Maybe scared to hustle because snitches so much. Maybe that's just what's going on. I would be scared to hustle too when I know that every other snitching just so he don't want to do no time because he's can't bear to be inside the jail system. Now the to say not nothing to brag about when I was coming up. Kind of happy to go to jail to say they did something tough, even though I never been behind the walls myself. But my I be around, there used to be a bragging point. Like I just came home at. That was when we was young. Nowadays, you punks are scared to go in and do the damn.
And when Tekashi was finally arrested, he flipped fast. Save himself, he started singing like a canary, cutting a deal and handing over dirt on his former brothers. By September 2019, during what fans now call Tekashi's Snitch Fest in court, he named names left and right, guys like Anthony Harv Ellison, Al Jeremiah, Nuke Mac, and plenty more. Tekashi basically gave the feds a full playbook on 9 Trey's dirty moves, leaving nothing off the table. But here's where Jim Jones enters the chat. His name came up in one of the wiretap audios played during the trial. In that clip, Jones was allegedly talking to Jamel Mel Murda Jones, another big player in 9 Trey, discussing how Tekashi should be dealt with. And ever since then, people can't stop asking, was Jim really calling shots, or was he being set up?
Brooklyn get paper, don't big things. We chase round, they all ball game, it's over for you lames. Give me back your chain, it's over for you.
In that leaked conversation, it sounded like Jim and the crew were plotting their next move after Tekashi went public about ditching the gang. The way Jim spoke, it felt like he was hinting at straight-up retaliation. That tape set the streets and the internet on fire. Not only did it tie Jim Jones directly to 9 Trey's top dogs, but it also raised an even bigger question. How on earth did Jim end up on a federal wiretap talking gang business and still walk away without a single charge? After Tekashi's trial wrapped up, fans and bloggers started asking the obvious. How does Jim get caught on tape saying someone needs to get violated and somehow remain the only 9 Trey affiliate who didn't get indicted? Naturally, this fueled even hotter rumors that Jim might have been working with the feds, or at the very least, cooperating just enough to dodge serious heat. And nobody pushed this narrative harder than Whack 100. Whack straight up called Jim a federal informant, claiming the only reason Jim didn't end up in cuffs was because he was playing ball with law enforcement. Whack didn't hold back either. He doubled down on Clubhouse in interviews, even confronting Tekashi about it.
The former rival will be relying on Ho's team to steer his career, as Dip says Jim Jones is allegedly heading over to Rock Nation. Capo posted a picture of bottles of Douce and Ace of Spades next to a Rock Nation letterhead on IG and told fans to caption this.
At one point, he went as far as daring Jim to clear his name and drop receipts, proving he wasn't working with the feds. But trust, it didn't stop there. Things were only just starting to heat up. Former Dipset member Jaja jumped into the chaos and poured even more gas on the fire. She claimed she's holding receipts proving Jim Jones actually set up his own friend, Mel Murda. That accusation alone had people side-eyeing Jim harder than ever. Now that we've unpacked where all the Jim Jones is a snitch talk started, let's circle back to Jay-Z. Because to really understand why Jay might have set Jim up for a public takedown, you've got to know just how deep their beef runs. Jay and Jim's feud wasn't some quick industry squabble. This drama dragged on for over a decade, starting way back in the early 2000s.
If anybody getting handsome checks, it should be us. Cocaine, we did that. The same as you.
It all popped off in 2002 when Dame Dash brought Cam'ron and Jim Jones into Rockefeller. The tension started brewing when Jim claimed Cam was promised a vice president role at the label. But Jay didn't back that up publicly. Jay told The Source at the time, "That's not taking effect as of yet. I think the talk is a little premature right now." Now keep in mind, all this was happening while Jay was already knee-deep in his iconic beef with Nas. In the middle of that chaos, Jay decided to jump on a remix of Cam'ron and Juelz Santana's hit Oh Boy, where he slipped in some bars throwing shade at Nas. But Cam and Jim weren't here for it. They flat out refused to release Jay's remix. Cam even went a step further. He cut Jay's verse entirely and later said he wasn't about to let Jay use their record as a weapon in his war with Nas. This messy clash between Jay and Dipset set the tone for years of bad blood.
All right. Remember when Jay-Z said this?
I think we've passed kneeling.
Let me play it again. This time, look at the reaction of the lady sat just behind him. The reason why she's worried about how Jay would respond is because she's the CEO of Rock Nation. But in her former life, she was a federal informant. In 1994, Desiree Perez was arrested for bringing in 35 keys of Griselda Blanco to Miami. Under pressure, she agreed to wear a wire for the DEA. Quick side note, Desiree Perez is the name Dame Dash refused to say in this Breakfast Club interview.
Once a has certain friends, we don't even talk about them no more where I'm from.
Now, around that same time, Jay-Z and Perez spearheaded Rock Nation's prison reform initiative with Meek Mill. I guess their hard work paid off, because on the 19th of January 2021, this list was released. Desiree Perez's criminal past had just been wiped clean by the outgoing president, Donald Trump.
And it was only the beginning. They weren't about to let Jay use their record to fight his own battles, and that moment set the tone for years of tension. Cam and Jim felt disrespected, like Jay didn't value them or their place in the game. That's when the sneak disses really started flying. Jim came for Jay heavy in interviews and on the radio, calling him out as corporate, out of touch with the streets, and soft. Jim positioned himself as the total opposite, the real one, the street-certified hustler who stood on integrity. He even made it a point to drag rappers who turned into snitches, calling them sellouts who abandoned the code. At first, Jay played it cool. He didn't clap back directly, but you could feel the tension boiling inside Rockefeller. Everyone knew there was smoke behind the scenes. Then in 2006, Jim shook the whole industry when he dropped We Fly High. The anthem was a massive hit, blasting from every corner in New York and beyond.
Head of Rock Nation, Desiree Perez.
Good evening, everyone.
I say shout out to Desi. Shout out to Desi. She got me out the contract.
Rock Nation.
Okay. Yeah, shout out to Desiree.
Okay. You know about this?
Nah.
Desiree Perez became a cooperating witness for the DEA in the 1990s. She got arrested in 1994 for possession of 35 kilos of cocaine.
That's when Jay finally broke his silence. He fired back with Brooklyn High, making it clear he wasn't going to let Jim's shots slide. The beef was officially in full swing, and things were only getting messier from there. But oh no, it wasn't over yet. Jim came back swinging with another remix of We Fly High, Beef Mix, where he went straight for Jay's neck. He clowned Jay's age, calling him an old head and firing off brutal lines like, "I told you, Warren, you're olda, better chill. Slow down before your olda gets killed." Then came 2008, and the beef spilled straight into real life. Security footage surfaced showing Jim putting hands on someone inside a Louis Vuitton store. And who was the unlucky target? None other than Jay-Z's longtime A&R, Lenny Santiago. Jim ended up getting arrested for the incident and later pled guilty to misdemeanor assault. That moment only added more fuel to the fire and had folks wondering if this feud was about to go fully off the rails. Jay, as usual, didn't respond directly to the drama. But a few months later, he threw some cold, calculated shade during an extra-large interview. Jay took aim at Jim's music, saying, "Tracks like Na 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 are exactly what's dragging the culture down." Jay didn't stop there. He added, "I mean, Jim Jones, for example, and this ain't because we don't see eye to eye, he made Na 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 Na. What's the difference between that and Trey Songz' Smiley Face or Soulja Boy? Na 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 could have easily been called Smiley Face." The shots were clear and the tension unmistakable. This wasn't just rap beef anymore. It was personal. After all that chaos, the beef cooled down for a while.
Desiree Perez and the whole wicked system of Rock Nation, including you, Jay-Z.
Yes.
You who say you rose from the gutter.
But in 2015, Dipset lit the fire back up with a freestyle over Diddy's Victory beat. Cameron and Jim used the moment to take fresh shots at Jay-Z and Rock Nation, mocking the Rock Nation brunch and clowning Jay for being too soft and way too corporate. But then, things took a wild left turn no one saw coming. Out of nowhere, Jim flipped the script and started begging Jay to sign him. Fast forward to February 2017, and after 13 years of nonstop beef, Jim Jones officially signed with Rock Nation and joined Jay's camp. Jim wasn't quiet about it either. He bragged about finally scoring an invite to Jay's legendary Rock Nation brunch, the same event he used to drag in interviews. Jim also began praising Jay left and right, doing everything he could to show loyalty and make it clear he was now Team Rock. But here's where it gets shady. Jay stayed silent the entire time. He barely even acknowledged Jim's Rock Nation deal. Fans quickly noticed that Jay seemed to be keeping it strictly business. No public cosign, no buddy-buddy moments, nothing. Now, here's where it gets real interesting. Some insiders say Jay giving Jim a deal wasn't about making peace. Instead, they're calling it a straight-up chess move. After all, Jay-Z has a long history of absorbing his rivals, keeping them close enough to neutralize any threat. Was this a truce or a setup? Think about it. The Lox, Fat Joe, J. Cole, Meek Mill, they all had their issues with Jay-Z at one point, only to eventually sign deals with Rock Nation. So when Jay brought Jim Jones into The Rock, it felt like history repeating itself. But here's the kicker. Jay kept his distance from Jim the entire time. So was Jay protecting his brand because of all that Tekashi drama and the swirling snitching allegations, or was something deeper going on? Here's where it gets messy. Jay loves to push his "I don't mess with snitches" image. But is that really the truth? Because let's not forget, Rock Nation's president and Jay's right-hand woman, Desiree Perez, is a documented federal informant. So if Jay is cool doing business with informants, why ghost Jim Jones over a few snitching rumors? That's when people started asking the hard questions. What if Jay was playing both sides? Maybe this was never about loyalty. Maybe it's always been about control and power. Jay didn't need Jim, but Jim desperately needed Jay. And when Jim's name hit those wiretaps, Jay did what he always does: protect the Rock Nation brand at all costs. Maybe Jay wasn't mad Jim might have snitched. Maybe Jay was mad Jim wasn't snitching for him. And that leaves us wondering, what kind of company is Rock Nation really running behind closed doors? If you're loving this kind of tea, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and drop your thoughts in the comments. We want to hear what you think. And trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. See you on the next one.